How's it going, everyone? This is Midnight Strike 3625, welcoming you back to another classic review. So, I know I haven't done a video in a very long time, and after a month of radio silence, here I am, once again, back again, to review a classic for everyone. So, the band Amaranthe just came out with the news that they were going to be releasing their new album entitled Maximalize, so I figured to kind of commemorate that, let's go back to 2011 and review their debut self-titled album that thrust them into the limelight of combining a bunch of different genres together to form kind of a melodic metal, in a sense. So, the first thing that we've got to realize about Amaranthe is they've been around since around, I believe, 2009, 2008, something like that. They came out with a demo of a few of these songs, like Amaranthe, Leave Everything Behind, and Hunger, and it was released to much fanfare and much excitement, especially when the polished versions of these songs actually came out in 2011 on this album that I'm about to review. So, basically, there was a lot of anticipation and a lot of hype for this, albeit for an unknown band at the time, such as Amaranthe, that was in sort of the infant stages. So, like I said with the previous Amaranthe reviews, I've actually reviewed all of their other albums thus far, The Nexus and Massive Addictive. The Nexus being my favorite of the three. So, basically, what you gotta know about Amaranthe is they combine pop elements with metal and rock as well, alternative rock. They've got a pop vocalist, Elise, I believe is her name. Elise Ride, I don't really know how to pronounce it. It's Swedish, so they're a Swedish pop melodic metal band, and yeah. So, Elise Ride, and then they've got a rock singer who sings the clean vocals, a male vocalist, and then they've got a screaming vocalist as well. So they've got pretty much the best of all three worlds. They've got hard rock, they've got pop, and they've got metal. So they add a lot of synthesizers and kind of like garage band pop beats as well as some organic guitars in there, and it's got a really nice sound to it. And this is the first time we've ever heard it from Amaranthe. And let me tell you, they've evolved a lot since this starting point, but this is probably the most organic album they have. And I say that because The Nexus, their next album, which would come in 2013, adds a lot more of the pop elements, like with the synthesizers and whatnot. And then Trinity, Massive Addictive, excuse me, adds a bunch more of that as well. So this is probably their most straightforward rock / metal album, so for those purists, this is probably going to be your favorite. It's got such classics as Hunger, Leave Everything Behind, Amaranthe, and Serendipity, which also happen to be my favorites off the track. I also like the wacky intro of Director's Cut. It sounds pretty sweet. The only one that I was kind of iffy on is Enter the Maze. I do like the song, but it does seem to drag on for quite a bit. So, with that, like I said, my favorite songs are obviously Hunger, and Amaranthe is probably my very favorite. It is a ballad, and it makes good use of all three genres perfectly, with fine balance. And I gotta say, this is their first attempt at a kind of ballady song. They have their ballads on the other albums. I do prefer Burn With Me off of The Nexus, but I do absolutely love this song as well. Burn With Me doesn't have unclean vocals. This does, so I suppose this is a little bit more of a complete edition, if you will. Plus, I do love the sound of the female-fronted vocals on this song right here, Amaranthe. And it's just, she's got that perfect pitch to her vocals, to her voice, and it fits the song so well, especially with the piano in there, and it's got a great atmosphere as well. So, like I said, really awesome. And when it comes to Serendipity, it's probably one of the shortest songs on the album, or clocking in at like 3:26. Actually, it's probably about average for this album. This is one of my favorite songs just because it doesn't drag on for very long, and it's got enough to it with the vocals, with the beats, with everything going on, that it doesn't really, it keeps your attention, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. So with that, I'm probably going to rate this album 9 out of 10, I want to say. It's not better than the Nexus. I think the Nexus is probably thus far their best album, but we will definitely have to see when Maximalize comes out. So far, what we've gotten to hear from this album just seems like they're kind of going on a downward spiral on this trajectory, because, like I said, this is their most organic album. The Nexus adds in a couple more, pop filters and everything, and then Massive Addictive just completely drowns it in pop, but there's still that kind of element of rock and metal in there. Maximalize, what we've heard so far, it just seems just like straight up pop. And if it's like that, it's probably going to be one of my least favorite albums of the year, but that's not what this is about. So their debut album gets a solid 9 out of 10, and check out my other Amaranthe reviews if you are curious as far as how I feel about the other albums. So 9 out of 10, thank you very much for watching. This is Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.